This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
What's up, Mike? What's happening, man? We got some bowling stuff to talk about this week. I'm excited.
What's happening? Soccer practice on Thursday night. Then I come home and the computer's not charged because my kid's been on Roblox all afternoon and night. So, yeah, I had to charge the computer real quick. Sorry about the delay, but we're here.
All right. What's happening? So let's get it started, Mike. What do you got going on? Did you do any league review this week? Oh, you bowl league. Look at that. The people, man. The people have been missing the league review. What do you got going on?
It's been a month. It's been a month, and let me tell you, I threw it so good, I think I might take another month off.
I do that shit all the time.
I might take another month off and just come back and bowl once a month because I felt refreshed and I felt good. I felt like I had some time to think about my game and you know what I need to focus on to bowl good. Yeah, I threw it good. You know, my scores weren't that great because the first game, I would say, it was more spare shooting related. I think I missed 2 makeable spares the first game. Third game, I was on the same pair for the first 2 games. And the third game, I switched pairs, and I should have switched balls as well, and I didn't. Yeah, an okay night. I think I went 180, 240, 160, I believe. So like 580 after not bowling for a month. Not bad. I won the singles and doubles pot the second game. So that was nice. Got my money back. So I bowled for free, you know, little practice session for free. Yeah, listen, Jeff, noticing the polo shirt tonight. This is my teaching getup, bro. I'm still in my work clothes. That's how busy I am. But you know, I got to throw the hat on because that's my signature on the pod. So I can't come on without my hat. Can't do it. I'm like the girl from Goodfellas who flies the shipments on the plane. I won't do it without my hat. I ain't doing it. So it was, you know, it was fine. I enjoyed bowling. We're gonna switch patterns next week. We got 3 different patterns coming in after bowling on the same stuff for a while. So I'm excited about that. I think I'll be back pretty much regularly from here on out because the reason that I wasn't bowling because my daughter's games got rescheduled to Tuesdays and I wanted to watch her games. So I think I'll be there regularly for the most part. But here's what I want to talk about the league review, Rob. It's dying. It's dying. The sport pot group that I have is dying. It's dying a slow death here. We gotta do something to try and get some new people out, new faces out. You know, if you're somebody that listens to this pod and is from the area, you know, come out and join us. We're definitely looking for some new faces. It's kind of sad, bro. I was really on my soapbox on Tuesday. I was ranting and raving as I was bowling. I'm not gonna lie. I was bemoaning the lack of heart in the bowling community in general. Okay, I was challenging the people that bowl our sport pots to call out the frauds and invite them to come bowl with us. Tell them they're mediocre and we can prove it. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. We had 12 guys this week, which is probably the lowest amount I think we've ever had since I started it last year. Now it was Halloween night. And I actually sacrificed going trick or treating with the fam so I could go over there and bowl. But like I said, I hadn't bowled in a month, and I missed it, and I wanted to go. It's something that I'm somewhat involved in running, not so much anymore, but was involved in starting. And yeah, I definitely want to support it. But yeah, it's disheartening, man. It really is. It's disheartening that this side of the game is just so undervalued. And I don't know. I mean, I guess everybody's heard my opinions on why people want to bowl on the fraudulent nonsense. I guess I just underestimate the level of interest for the harder side of the game. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of interest.
Well, it's always kind of been like that. No, I mean that's the reason why the sport bowling leagues and the just sport bowling leagues in general never got as popular as the regular house leagues. I mean, there's a reason. No.
No question.
Listen, if the sport leagues were bringing in people, and they were actually people bowling and requesting to bowl sport leagues, and if they had a sport league, and let's just say that league at a certain house filled up and was wall to wall people, you don't think the bowling alleys and the proprietors and the managers would be like, well, we need to have more sport leagues because those leagues are filling up? Obviously, that's not the case. Any sport league out there, I mean, people in the chat, let me know if I'm wrong here, but any sport leagues in your bowling centers in the last 5 years, 10 years, I mean, they never really got really popular or really, people weren't showing up in
in droves, to join these leagues,
100%, or else the managers and the proprietors would be more in tune, more prone to be making more of those type of leagues. No.
Yeah, and I mean, if I can assign sort of a reason to that, I think it's because of the geography of it, where when you're talking about a league, you're really drawing from a limited geographical area. Like, people are only willing to drive so far, right, to bowl. So, for our thing, I mean, I'm 35 minutes away from where we bowl, and I feel like that's far. So I would say, there's a guy who comes up from South Jersey every week, though, right now, even though we're only getting 12 people. So, unless somebody's extremely hardcore and really wants to seek out that opportunity to bowl on that stuff, you're drawing from a very limited geographical area. And there just aren't the numbers to support the sports side of the game on a regular basis because you can't draw from a big enough area. If you said, oh, it was statewide in New Jersey, New Jersey's not even that big of a state. It probably takes you 3 hours to get from the top of the state to the bottom of the state. But if you said, oh, you're drawing from the whole state, then I think, you'd have more than enough people to run whatever you wanted. But when you say, oh, well, you're only drawing from this one county or maybe even a section of towns in this one county, then getting those numbers, certainly becomes a lot harder, I would say.
Yeah, well, sorry to hear it's dying, Mike. I mean, you might have to think about to do something new or change something to maybe bring some life into it.
Yes, and this is a good point by Steph in the chat, who comes most weeks, and he's been a supporter from the beginning. But he said, the non-commitment of what we're doing should be more appealing to people.
It should be.
Right, to come out and just give it a shot and, bowl a couple weeks and, if they like it, stick around. And if you don't,
but do people know about it?
Yeah, people know about it. I mean, we've been promoting it pretty heavy on social media, and definitely within the county, people know about it. There's no question, because we have drawn people from other bowling centers in the county. So I know that word is sort of out about it.
Mike, if you could figure out the mystery behind getting people to a sport league, then I think you would have a recipe that a lot of people don't have.
We're even wrapping it off bowling balls. Usually that'll get people in the door. Say you're giving away bowling balls.
How does Greg Tack get his entries up in his tournaments?
Because he draws from a huge geographical area. At a Greg Tack event, you're going to regularly see people from Massachusetts, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and Delaware.
Yeah,
that's a huge geographical area to draw from. You know,
Correct. Yeah, tournaments is
we're
one
trying to
day. Yeah,
we're trying to draw from
it's tough.
a much smaller area than that.
It's
And
tough.
yeah, it is. And
It's tough
it's
to
so
get people to come
disheartening
out.
too because I really love the challenge. Like that's what I like about bowling is the challenge. And it's just I don't get it.
Yeah.
I know it's fun to shoot scores, no doubt. But I just
Yeah.
appreciate the challenge. Another idea I had, and this is, I was ranting and raving last night, is to start inviting 220, 230 average bowlers, sending them a personal invitation and saying, you've been invited to come bowl this weekly sport pot thing with us. If you want to come check it out, you have an open invite. Trying to not put pressure on them, but at least make them feel like, hey, you've reached a certain caliber where you should come over and bowl on this. And I just don't people don't feel that way. People like beating the game on easy over and over and over again. People like playing on beginner on Madden and putting up 100 on the computer. I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't. I kind of feel like sometimes too. It's a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? It's the people are afraid to go do it. It's not that they don't. It's not that they don't want the challenge, Mike. I sometimes feel like people are just intimidated by it, right? Like it's.
Well,
It's just,
but that goes back to Steph's point about the non-commitment. It's just 1 week, and I think if you get enough
an ego.
I
It's
know
an
if you get enough new faces in, right? If you get enough new faces flowing through, some of those people are going to be drawn to it. I know a lot aren't. A lot are going to come and have a bad experience and never come back. But some of those people, I feel like, are going to be drawn to it and stick with it. And that's what I was hoping for. Like we would build this grassroots thing, from the people that were into it.
I got an idea for you. Okay. Here's my idea, Mike. Tell me this could be something you guys can do. I sometimes feel like you're bowling the pot games, you're bowling the 3 games, right, in the sport league, but there's nobody there really helping these people out.
Right.
There's no coaching, there's no educating, there's no getting better.
I try to.
Listen,
but you're right.
But listen, there are people going there, they're bowling their 450, they're bowling their 500, they're bowling their 550, whatever it is, and they're leaving, right? They're not getting better. They're coming back the same week. Why don't you talk to someone like a Bill? And I'm just putting that out there. Talk to a Bill, have him come out and help these people.
Bro, me and you, bro, we vibe. We think the same way.
Well, listen,
I swear to God, listen, on Tuesday night, I asked the whole group of 12 people, I said, yo, do you think if I got some, like a pro bowler to come out and hang out here and give advice and kind of walk around and, talk to people, take some pictures, whatever, do you think that might get people out? And you want to know what they said? No,
I don't believe it. That's
okay. All right. Because, I wasn't even going to
why.
start with Bill. I'll be honest. I was going to try and start with Parker. He's even closer. I was going to, go to Rev Rates and say, listen, can you help me out and come one night and just hang out, give some advice?
Promote your training center, right? Come out, right? But my thing is like, look, Mark Baker and Barry Asher used to run a $10 clinic at Fountain Valley for 2 hours. And you go, they turn the lanes on. It was a house shot, but you literally pay $10 to get maybe spent 5 to 10 seconds or minutes. I should say more like 5 minutes with one of the best coaches in the world. Okay. It was the greatest bargain that I've ever been a part of in the game of bowling. And they were doing it to bring in people so that people would eventually go to the pro shop and they could sell bowling balls through the pro shop, and they get it involved. Here's the thing is how do you get addicted to this game? And how do you get addicted to any game out there? Think about any game, right? Video game, arcade game, bowling, whatever it is, sport. When you see yourself getting better, Mike, when you see yourself getting better, when you see the skills, when you see the lessons, when you see whatever, the drilling the bowling balls, whatever you want to say, if you see yourself improving, you get hooked on it. It's just like any other video game, right? Any of these little Clash of Clans type games where you see yourself getting better, you want to play more because you're like, oh, there's some skill involved. And I'm just using that as a dumb example. people find out that Parker Bone showed up at your sport thing and was, giving advice or helping out people, looking at their equipment, people will talk about it and people will come. Believe me, I think that
You think
is
so?
something worth a shot. I do.
So with that said, then I gotta set it up for multiple weeks, right? Because like the first week, people ain't really gonna hear about it, but then they're gonna hear about it and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna show up."
Promote it for a few weeks before he shows up.
Right.
Promote
no,
it.
believe me.
Promote
Listen,
it.
I thought about that. Tim
So
Tim Sorrell's in the chat. I had his comment up for a minute. He said, "Would there be a better night? Are there other leagues in the area at the same time?" It's interesting you say that, Tim, because even when we had enough people to have a 3-man league, okay, even when we had enough people to have a 3-man league, one of the people that bowls in that 3-man league started a second sport league on Monday nights, okay, at a different center, and that never drew many people, but it's been running for a few years, and they're down to a bare minimum this year. And yeah, I never understood the logic behind doing that, because like you already don't have enough people for both. So why run both? Why not try and combine it as one? Why not take I mean,
it has nothing to do. It's because
well, here's what it has to do with. It has to do with the rules that we're going to bowl under. That's what it has to do with. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, there would be disagreements about the rules under which we should be bowling. In terms of format and handicap and other issues of that nature. But really, you can't. In like we just talked about how drawing from a smaller geographical area just doesn't work. Like you can't have two. You can't have two.
Look,
if you don't have enough to have one, you certainly can't have two.
Here's my suggestion: is talk to Parker, talk to Bill, talk to Paluzik, talk to whoever you need to talk to. Right?
Palooza can't come. He can't. He don't drive. I ain't driving down there.
I'm giving an example. I'm giving you examples of people that you might want to ask. And Parker would be perfect. Bill O'Neill would be perfect. Those are two big names in the industry, right? You can't deny that. December 1st, whatever the first Tuesday is of the December, right? You make that the first time and say, hey, Parker is coming down. Try to turn it more into, instead of a competitive practice league, turn it into more of a type of like a coaching, like, hey, Parker's going to be here. It's going to be the same type of format, but like we want he's going to be around answering questions, giving you advice on how to play the lanes, how to tweak your equipment with the shots that you're putting. Look, like if you're not going to get people out that want to go and do that, I would show up for that, right? And go and be like, fuck, if I can get Parker for a few minutes to help me with my equipment, like I don't see why people wouldn't. You just have to promote it in a way, right? And you have to put on social media, go to the leagues, whatever it is, see what happens. But I think that would be your next play, to be honest with you. That's what at least I would try to do.
Fair enough. All right, it's enough league review. It's enough nonsense league talk. I think I'm actually going to be bowling a house league next Thursday, though.
Oh,
so we might have to reschedule. Okay. But I'll have 2 league reviews for the people.
Great.
Whenever we reschedule.
40 minutes.
We'll spend 40 minutes on nonsense. I know.
Yeah.
And you know what, Rob? We shouldn't have spent that long on league review because tonight should be a celebration.
Well, it is.
Tonight should be a celebration.
I gotta talk about my bowling.
For us. Oh, you have bowling report?
I do.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, I was about to transition into our next segment. Sorry.
I've been looking forward to telling people about my bowling. So I practiced at B3 this weekend again. And last night I decided I was going to go on the Bolero website and I was going to see what specials they have running these days. And I found out Bolero has an all-you-can bowl after 7 p.m. on Wednesdays for $12. Okay. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to grab my shit. I'm gonna grab my shit and I'm gonna go practice. All you can bowl. I'm gonna get my hour and a half in and I'm gonna leave, so get home by a good hour. I'm pulling up to the bowling center. Who do I see in front of the bowling center? Jacob Buttriff. I'm like, I'm putting two and two together now. I'm like, oh shit, the Arizona State kids are here. because remember we talked about it. They
Okay.
practiced. So I walked in, I grabbed my stuff, I walked in, and I saw Jordan Asperg, who's the coach for Arizona State, who I've known for years. Jeffrey, my brother's in the chat, has known him for years. Sees me walk in. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm here to practice." He's like, kind of like, "Really?" Like, I live 10 minutes from here. He's like, "Hop on with the kids. I got a 32-foot flat out." I'm like, "Let's go." So I grabbed my shit and I practiced for an hour and a half with the Arizona State team on an absolutely brutal 32-foot pattern. And he says to me, "There's only one rule. You can't use urethane on a 32-foot pattern, and you have to play right at 10." I'm like, "Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. I didn't have urethane with me anyway, and I'm cool with that." So here I am for an hour and a half, missing the head pin left, missing it right. I mean, it was a disaster.
Gutters. Throw some gutters.
I threw a ton of gutters because I was trying to play the 1-2.
Well, 32
board.
feet. I mean, you're gonna throw some in the gutter if you're trying to strike anyway.
Yeah. So that was cool. That was fun. I'm gonna be bowling a tournament next weekend, the CBE. But Nico is right. I am very seriously contemplating bowling the Masters, and we'll talk about the schedule. But I decided that I want to start bowling again. And the only way for me to really take it seriously is to sign up for something that I can't get out of. Unfortunately for me, my mother lives in Vegas, and she lives, like, no joke, 5 minutes from Suncoast, where the Masters is going to be taking place in March. So it's cheaper expenses for me. I could drive there. I don't have I have a place to stay. There's not really a whole lot of overhead for me to bowl. So why not? You know what I mean? So I decided I'm going to. I'm just waiting now for the sign up, and I have to be on at a certain time and make sure I get a spot because those sell out really quick these days. So that's So you'll be hearing a lot of me bowling. There's a tournament CB. There's a TAT Thanksgiving here in Arizona for $5,000 for first.
Okay.
I'll be bowling the TAT in February. So yeah, I'm bowling again. And this time I don't plan on quitting. This time I plan on powering through the rough times and the good times, and getting through the adversity and trying to figure out what's wrong before I decide to hang it up. So that's my review. We'll see a lot more of me bowling. I physically have to get better. Physically, I feel terrible right now after an hour. Back hurts, knees hurt. 42 sucks. I know all you people out there that are my age or older understand the aches and pains, especially when you haven't been bowling. So, that is my bowling review, and now we will transition to some great news that we were able to read from the PBA press release.
Well, it should be It should be a celebration here tonight. Okay.
It's a pretty good week for the PBA.
It should be a celebration for us and all of our Sweep the Rack fame. Okay, because they might as well have asked us what direction they should go in.
There was no girls team, by the way, from Arizona State. I was looking for it in case Chris in the chat was asking.
Jimmy is saying it himself. They listened to STR. If you listen to STR, you know that they listened to STR. Because Rob and Jimmy, if you want to comment too, you can comment as well. And all of you. Did you read the press release? Tell me that when you read the press release, the first thing that didn't come to your mind was, wow, this is a lot of what they said on Sweep the Rack. Rob, when I saw it, I hit you up and I was like, read the PBA press release and tell me what the first thought is you have. And you text me back. You text me back and you were like, I already did. And they took the ideas that we were talking about on the show. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, as I'm reading the article, I'm like, holy shit. Like, they're really taking the ideas that we laid out on the show and saying, okay, like we're gonna try and implement some of these ideas.
So Tim, they're actually starting with 2 majors this year, right? Which I'm not thrilled about. If there was one complaint, that would be that. But they are saving 3 of the majors for the second half, with a PBA playoff at the end. And I'm fine with that as long as they're not like cramming all the majors in at the beginning and then kind of doing what they did this year, which to me, wasn't the best. But back to what we were talking about the PBA, listening to what we have to say. Yeah, I mean, look, this takes months for them to schedule these events, right? So we're not sitting here and saying that, they listened to our show 2 weeks ago about some of the, we had a show where we talked about the major changes the PBA needs to make in the next schedule. I'm not saying any of that because obviously they're not going to put the schedule together in 2 weeks.
I don't know if I believe that. I mean, I believe that the dates are booked. I believe that the dates are booked, but I don't believe that the events are designed in a much longer time frame.
I would love to be a part of that, a fly on the wall, and just be a part of that from the start to the finish of the schedule, how they release the schedule and what it takes for them to make the schedule and like for them to get the places together. And I mean, this schedule next year, and I'm going to go through it here, and I have it, up here in case people are listening and they didn't really get a chance to read it or understand the schedule. So, Mike, I'm going to go through this real quick, okay? Because I want people who don't know about the schedule release about what's really happening, okay? So Monday on January 15th is the first show. It's on Fox. It's the PBA Players Championship. So it starts PBA Players Championship. It's actually going to be in Wichita, which is a cool place. I know Wichita gets a lot of, a lot of people like bowling in that area. It's a big bowling area, obviously, for the university and whatnot. Do you want to pull Nico? You want to talk about Nico's comment while I'm doing this? Or
no, go ahead. Go over. I'll bring it back up.
Okay. The next stop, they go literally back-to-back PBA Players Championship, U.S. Open. Okay, so talk about getting in the head first into the tour, right? It's like major, right? Probably, arguably the hardest major, right? The U.S. Open. And that's going to be on Saturday.
You better be throwing it good to start the season.
Yeah. They also are running an FS1. They're running a PBA League show that on that weekend. So on FS1 on Saturday, they're running a PBA League show, and then Sunday is the finals of the U.S. Open. I mean, to me, that's pretty cool, right? Like, I'm a big fan of that, right? Like, dude, they're not only showing the qualifying of the league, but they're actually airing the seeding or the tournaments of the league on TV, which is something that I didn't even want. I was just thinking they would do it on Bowl TV, right? But they're actually giving airtime to the league. I'm all about it, right?
As they should. Like, if you want people to watch and be interested in it in September, then you better lay the groundwork throughout the season and give people a reason to watch and follow it.
100%. Talk about starting with a bang. I wonder if they're going to be using the U.S. Open shot for the league. That would be something I'm curious to see, because that would be awesome though. Imagine they're bowling on the U.S. Open. That would be pretty cool. Okay. Now you're going to what they're calling the PBA Classic tournaments, and they haven't announced the format for those Classic tournaments. But I mean, when they use the word Classic, I mean, are we talking 24 games of match play, Mike? Like, I don't know. I might have to slow down, like get ahead of myself, but it's going in the Midwest, right? Because the U.S. Open's in Indy, right? Then it goes PBA Illinois Classic and Mount Prospect, the Missouri Classic, Indiana Classic, and Delaware Classic. These tournaments are all airing on FS1 on back-to-back weekends. Mike, we're getting literally almost 5 straight weekends of bowling in February. We go February U.S. Open, February, Saturday, Sunday, literally 5 straight air tournaments, okay? I don't know what the Classic tournaments are, what the format is, but I'm hoping maybe they mix the formats, maybe some match play, maybe like, I don't know, whatever it is, right? I want to see a little bit of a mix here in the formats, right? Okay. Then that's the beginning, that's what, 6 tournaments. Then they go to a PBA All-Star weekend, right? Which is like how the NBA does it, right? In a way, right? Middle break, All-Stars, and from what I understand, the All-Stars is not going to be just celebrities, Mike. It's going to be pro celebrities and legends, right? And that's something you brought up a while ago that you wanted to see on the celebrity, the Chris Paul events, right?
Well, I brought up the idea that I don't mind the celebrity portion of it, but I also would love to see the legends be involved in more than just a managerial role in the league. Right? Like I think that, you still have a lot of older hardcore bowling fans who have an appreciation for those players. And yeah, any way that they can bring those players in, I think is smart and it's good and people are going to enjoy it.
Yeah, Pete Weber, Norm Duke, Walter Ray. I mean, you might even go even further. Get Nelson Byrne Jr. is still bowling, right? Try to get him, Parker Bone, try to really bring out some of the, the older, people. I would love to see guys like Barry Asher get on the show, even a bowl.
Jimmy in the chat asking PBA 50, you're saying, Big Mike. Not really. What I really mean is, how Carmen Salvino used to come and bowl some of the events from time to time, right? Shout to him. I mean, he's, up there in age and he's bowling the events and finishing the events. But what I'm more referring to is not bringing them in a bowling capacity, bringing them in, if they want to bowl, fine, make it a fun thing, make it an exhibition thing, which it seems like in the press, when I read the press release, that's kind of what the All-Star weekend is going to be, right? It's going to be maybe some of the more gimmicky stuff that we've seen over the last couple of years. Right. And listen, if you're involving the legends and, you're involving some celebrities and you're doing it that way, I'm way more open to that than I am to trying to make a strike derby into a real competitive thing. Okay. So if that's what this is, I'm 100% on board. But obviously it's new. So, we're going to have to see.
Dude, a PBA All-Star weekend is pretty cool because I can imagine there being more than just bowling, right? I'm sure they probably maybe have whatever it is, like a red carpet. I don't know, make it interesting. Make it fun for the fans and make it fun for the fans going there for engagement, right?
And this is a great example of something that you could see there. Jimmy says, let's see a Patrick Allen Mika exhibition match. Right, and those are two examples of two great examples of bowlers that fans like you and I, Rob, would love to see. We haven't seen those guys in forever, right? And it would be cool. And yeah, do some triples matches of a team of legends against a team of legends, and team
of legends versus a team of regular pros here. Throw in a celebrity. I don't care. Throw in a CP3 and a Mookie Betts, right? I mean,
right.
Make it interesting if they're able to, get out of their NBA.
Right. Keep it light and real. Right. Keep it light and real, and involve people that are going to involve people that the fans are going to gravitate toward anyway. Right. Instead 100%. Of trying to do a fake enthusiasm special event. Make it so that the guys who are in it are really enjoying themselves too. So there's a lot of possibilities there. I'm interested to see what that is.
It's interesting. I wouldn't mind them even involving the strike derby during the All-Star weekend, right? I think that you could do that in an All-Star weekend, right? You can do a strike derby. You can do bring back the what is it when they did the trick shots, right? People like the trick shots, right? People
what I'd love to see?
Trick shots.
I'd love to see a skins game.
Like the old Lisa Wagner, Earl Anthony.
I would love to see an old school skins game,
right?
With a whole lineup of bowlers, some legends, some celebrities, some carrying. Give me Belmo, Kyle Troop, give me Johnny P, give me Parker, give me Walter, give me Pete, give me Norm, give me Mookie, give me Jerome Bettis. Give me
Rudy Revs. Give me Rudy Revs. Bring in some of the people that are gonna bring the house down. I'm just saying, give me some exciting, give me Ernie Schlegel and Randy Peterson rematch or something. I don't know,
oh my goodness.
I know. I'm giving these guys gold right now.
We're giving too much. This is why the ideas are flowing from here.
I know. Could you imagine?
Jimmy,
Stone
stop giving them ideas, Jimmy. We need to stop.
Yo, I'm telling you, like, give a Bob Learn rematch against Giant Petragula for the Mulligan match. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, was it Parker Bone? I mean, right? It
How
was
about
Parker Bone,
like
Bob Learn, right?
yeah? I
Was
mean,
it?
even
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I again love the idea. Want to see where it goes.
Dude, beef and bars, dude, wheelchair matches. We don't. I mean, look, that's the All-Star Weekend. That's what it's about. It's about bringing in people, that have been involved in the game. Fun for the fans. I don't care. Trick shots, home run derbies, whatever it is. Do it. Get it all out of your system that weekend, and then let's go. Let's do it. So, all right, All-Star Weekend, right? After the All-Star Weekend, you go to the PBA Junior National Championship. I always like the PBA Junior National Championship, right? I always think this is a great show to watch.
Totally
I've always
okay
been
with
a
that.
fan. Yep, that's right after the All-Star Weekend. That's Saturday. So now we're going they're pumping out the shows, Mike. We're gonna be busy podcasters in the February, March. We better keep our calendars open because we were definitely going to 2 shows a week for those 3 or 4 months. Okay. And then it goes to the Masters. Right now, we're getting into the second half. Right now, we're getting into the dirty. We're getting into the nitty gritty of the season. Right, Masters. Right, they're having an elite, a PBA. They're having the team elites at the Masters again. Saturday, they're running a show, and then Sunday, the finals. Mike, what was I saying? Have the shows during the majors. I wish I could cut out from a few weeks ago when I was talking about it. It's great. I love it. So you do a league, a PBA league Saturday on FS1, and then Sunday the USBC Masters Finals, which you might actually, see me bowling top 4, trying to get that major. Okay, after the Masters, it doesn't let up because we go right into the World Series of bowling, Mike. So you go into Las Vegas. We are flying to Allen Park, where I love the World Series being in Detroit. Okay, I bowled it in Detroit. I've been a part of it in Detroit. The fans in Detroit, the people around there love bowling. Detroit and Michigan has always been a huge bowling community. Back in the GM days, right, in the 80s, and even before that, right, bowling has always been a huge Midwest and Michigan. So Thunderbowl, right? We're going again, the league, right? Starts out with the league at the World Series, right? We actually have 2
Better
shows.
than USA versus the world.
Yep. Oh God, 1,000 times better. Saturday, Sunday, the first weekend, FS1, they're running two PBA team shows, right? Elite League, they're calling it. Wow, we are invested in the league this year, and I'm absolutely loving it, man.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. I hope they're really going to pour some money into it. Is going to be my next, when I see some of these prize funds, is going to be our next topic of conversation when we see some of the money getting thrown. Hopefully it's a decent amount. Then we're going Sunday, the Rough Home and Doubles Championship is going to be airing on FS1, right? Then it goes Cheetah, Scorpion, Shark. The World Championship semifinals is getting aired on Saturday, and then Sunday, the World Championship finals. So we're getting 2 World Championship shows on the 20th and 21st.
I need to know how many people make it. I'm worried that could be another 17-man stepladder.
Man, I hope not. But all I'm saying is I hope they just run matches on the both shows, right? Like match. I don't want to see a stepladder. I want to see matches, like one-on-one matches. But look, the World Series of Bowling is going to be showing like almost all week. It goes Saturday shows, 2 shows Sunday, Monday show, Tuesday show, Wednesday show, Saturday show, Sunday show. Crap, Mike. We're never going to be doing. We're going to be watching bowling every night.
And what are the dates on that?
April 6th is when the Elite League show starts. April 6th, April 7th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 20th, and 21st.
Yeah, it's a good time of the year too.
Not a lot going on.
Time of the year for it, right? Yeah, definitely.
March Madness is over, right? Mm-hmm. That bracket's over, and then there's not really baseball is probably still not getting spring training starting in April. So it's
right. Basketball has playoffs haven't even started yet.
Right. Yeah.
So I like that. I like that. I feel like it vibes with that idea of trying to find the time in the sports calendar where bowling can get some eyes on it.
Yeah, right? It's a good one. Okay. Now after Sunday the 21st is when the World Championship finals we're going right to the Tournament of Champions, which is in AMF Riviera Lanes in Fair Lawn, Ohio. Okay, so we're staying in the Midwest. Okay, the only little complaint I might have is, and I get the traveling and stuff. I like the Midwest. I like it being a lot of these tournaments are in the Midwest. I do like to see a little bit of, I don't know, maybe we'll see what the second half later brings, but the Southeast is the West Coast is just, it's all really, a lot of these tournaments are focused in the Midwest. People who are living right now in Ohio and Indiana and Missouri are loving the schedule, right? Because they are literally close to home almost the whole tour. People that live in California and are not really liking this. They're going to end up being literally in the Midwest, probably super cold in the mid-March. Okay, next, Tournament of Champions. AMF Riviera Lanes, Fairlawn, Ohio will be that week of right after the World Series. 2 shows. They're also doing a league show Saturday, like they're doing with the other majors, and they're doing the Tournament of Champions finals on Sunday on Big Fox, the 27th and the 28th. Okay. Not next. PBA playoffs. Okay.
They're back.
It's back. It's going to be literally 4 shows. Saturday, May 4th, May 5th, May 12th, and the finals are on my birthday, Sunday, May 19th of the PBA playoffs. Okay. And they
sounds right for Carolier Lanes, if you ask me.
They haven't announced the location. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say this would be a perfect spot to bring the PBA playoffs to the East Coast. Okay, a perfect spot to bring it to Bolero Carolier Lanes. Okay, I do. I like to see them run it all at Carolier in the East Coast for that 4th, 5th, 12th, and 19th, honestly. And that's just because I know how big and how much of a big following bowling is on the East Coast. People love bowling on the East Coast.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last year that it definitely isn't what it used to be, but I think you still get good shows.
You do.
Like, you're still going to get good shows, good crowds for the show. You don't have the packed house throughout the week that it used to be, but you are going to get good crowds for those shows.
Yeah, and then so after the PBA playoffs, then where you're getting almost like it feels like a summer break, but I feel like there'll still be some tournaments around in the summer. They just haven't announced. I know the Susan Corman mixed doubles is usually in the summer, and I'm sure there'll be other tournaments they haven't announced yet. And then obviously they have the dates set for the PBA League finals, which will be 4 shows on FS1 in mid-September, 15th, 16th, 16th, and 17th. If you're not excited as a bowling fan for this schedule, then I don't know really what to tell you.
You suck. You suck. If you're not excited for this schedule, you suck. Seriously. I mean, bravo. Like, they're giving the fans the buffet of bowling, that we've been asking for.
I do expect them to still run some Bowl TV events, because Bowl TV did just sign a 2-year agreement with Bolero and the PBA. If anybody didn't know that, there was an article in the PBA. There was an article in lemonframe.com. Jeff, is always up, knows what's going on. He's really quick pulling out his articles, which was a big deal just to make sure like there's going to be media coverage. And, I mean, look, Mike, you could just tell how excited I am just by reading the schedule. I'm happy to give the PBA credit when credit's due. I really believe, Tom is listening to a certain degree, and I think he's, understanding that that there needs to be, more focus on the league. Hopefully, they can make it more competitive. They could offer more money. Who knows? Maybe they might even offer a title. Maybe bring in more teams. I don't know what the plan is. They haven't really announced the specifics yet on the league. But I would imagine that there's going to be more money involved.
Nico mentioning that they also have the tour finals in June on CBS Sports. Yeah, I know they still have that deal with CBS Sports. I don't know when that runs out, but yeah, I if I'm the PBA, I'm not really looking to renew that. I'm looking to take that and bring it over and get rid of that event, but use the resources in a different way for something else.
Yeah, when I was reading Jeff's article, I know he mentioned something about CBS Sports. About still the PBA Tour Finals will be in June. The tournament historically has been on CBS Sports. The PBA PWBA is notoriously the breast cancer mixed doubles. It's historically been on Bowl TV too. So I'll be interested to see. There's also some tournaments too. They're talking about the PBA Jonesboro Open, the Lucky Larson Masters in Sweden. So there'll be some more tournaments. This is just, I think, the initial schedule, for the first half or the first majority of the tournaments. And then I'm sure they'll plug and play a lot of the other tournaments in the summer. So, yeah, I don't know, Mike, where you want to go from here, but I mean, what a great, great schedule. And we'd be, the first people to be bitching and complaining about if it was a terrible schedule or not. And if me and you are both happy with it, then I kind of feel like they did a good job.
Saturday night sounds like it's going to be league night, bro.
Oh, you mean PB? Oh, yeah. Saturday night's going to be PBA league night. I know, which is cool to see.
Chris Kamane in the chat saying all these league shows will allow the fans to emotionally invest more in teams and is perfect for storylines to develop outside of this guy's having a great season. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's probably one of the things I'm most interested to see about this new schedule is how that PBA league piece plays out. But, Rob, here's where I want to go. Okay? Because if they're listening, and we know they're listening, I need them to hear this. And I need them to hear this loud and clear. Do you have a Zombie Belmo shirt on right now?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's an affront to me. Okay? If I still ever find out who Zombie Belmo was, I'm going to stomp a hole in that person's ass when I see them. Okay? So that's an affront to me. Nonetheless, I just caught that. Sorry. You got me off track now. You got me rattled. If they're listening, I need them to hear me on this. Okay? Take this schedule and promote the shit out of it gambling-wise. Tom Clark needs to go to whatever outlets he can. I don't care. Start with bowling podcasts like us and Beef and Barnsey. Go to gambling. Find any gambling podcast you can find and get on there and start promoting this schedule with gambling involved. You want a better suggestion? And somebody said it online. I think you may have mentioned it online today, Rob, or alluded to it anyway. How about a deal with Bet Rivers? Come on. We need to, the next step here, okay, the schedule is amazing. Big step forward with the schedule, okay? Hopefully a much more marketable product, right? But the next step has to be promoting it heavily with gambling. Take bowling and make it the sport that says, hey, we're all about gambling. We're all about it. We're all about the action. Okay? These other sports, they dip their feet into it, but they don't really want to stake a claim to it. They don't want to they don't want to embrace it. Great word, Rob. They don't want to be that closely associated with it, right? We should be the opposite. Bowling should be the opposite. Bowling should be the sport to turn around and say, no, we're all about the gambling. Come on in and gamble with us. Come on in and bet on us. Yo, Jimmy's got it. PBA, and the A stands for action, son. Come and get it.
The issue is, I don't think you're able to. I mean, essentially, a lot of the states still don't let you gamble, right? Like, I know Florida is actually going into
irrelevant.
December.
Irrelevant. People have their ways of gambling. Okay, what we need is
Well,
we
Vegas has
need
gotta get
a legitimate sports book like
Vegas. Bet
or-
MGM.
no. What's the one that's doing it already? I can't
Bet
believe it.
Rivers.
Bet Rivers, okay? We need a legitimate sports book like Bet Rivers to get with the PBA and get behind it so that other sports books can then take a look at their odds and just copy them. That's what we need.
So-
And then that trickles down to your, black market bookies in the areas where people have their own ways of betting. Most of the time it's some website or app or whatever it is. And I've been on them. And I know that they offer odds on table tennis on those just like they do on DraftKings and some of the major ones. So they could do it with bowling.
I'm gonna pull this comment because I don't see what the common what William. I don't understand what you're trying to get at. He writes about gambling won't really help promote youth or collegiate bowling. You're
Who
comparing
cares?
apples to bananas. Like
It's not the PBA's job to promote.
It's not the
youth or collegiate
PBA's job
bowling.
to promote. That's the USBC's job is to
The
to
PBA's
get
job
more-
is to promote the PBA
right and to get
find
more money.
ways to attract
Sponsorships.
more sponsors, more
Viewership.
eyes, more money, better,
wanna know how to-
better
you wanna-
opportunities for the players.
Mike, you want to know how the best promotion for bowling when it comes to collegiate and youth is if there is hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to be made as a professional bowler.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you'll start seeing kids that are like, holy crap, I can make $1 million bowling. Maybe I should learn how to bowl. Why do you think the NFL and baseball and the big four sports are
Right.
so popular with the youth?
Why are
Because they
basketball
make-
leagues filled all over? Why are there
Because there's a
travel
ton of money to be
basketball
made.
teams, all over the place? Yeah, because they're all chasing that same thing.
They're all chasing the money. Trust me, if you got paid, $35,000 a year, in the NFL as a player, I guarantee you people wouldn't be. The NFL would go down really quick and really hard, honestly, because people wouldn't want to sacrifice, their bodies and their minds for $35,000 a year. But if you're going to give them $100 million, it's a whole nother ball game. That's how you grow the sport in youth and college is you get more money into the pro circuit. Honestly.
Yeah, like I mean, in terms of the gambling thing, I don't even care if Tom Clark decides to go to Barstool and do something with them. Go do something with them. They got a sports book. They're already tied into the PBA with all this other nonsense.
Go talk to your BFF Barstool Carl. That's your boy, right?
Yeah,
He
go
loves
hook
bowling.
it up with. And listen, I'm people are gonna think I'm silly for saying this, but I'm dead serious about this. Like, I would be promoting the gambling on the simplest levels that I possibly could. Okay.
Dude, Sam, man, what's up, bro?
Oh,
A lot of
Sam
sense you're
Cooley
making.
checking in.
Better
Sam
calm
Cooley
down.
checking in. Okay.
Dude, I know Sam's already calm watching. I know he's calm, cool, and composed watching our show. I don't see him getting all riled up like we are for the schedule. Sam, I mean, how do you like the schedule? I know you got to be excited for it, right?
So-
to be able to see all those tournaments.
I would promote the gambling in almost the simplest terms possible. Like, Tom Clark should be trying to get on Barstool podcasts and saying, hey, take a look at betting on bowling. It's really fun. You can bet on whether the guy's going to strike or not on the next shot. I mean, how simple of a bet is that? And how fun is that? How many times have you seen at a tournament people in the back betting dollars and fives on guys are going to strike? I'll take him on 36.
Dude,
You
one of my
can do the same thing.
One of the greatest memories I have as a college bowler is we all stayed around one night after league. It was in New Jersey. I think you were there with us.
Yeah.
And we must have had like 25 collegiate bowlers sitting back there. And there was some like Mamma Mia, like low average mixed league. And we were sitting there betting on strikes for the league
were.
bowlers.
There was action previous to that. There was action going on. That's why we were all there. And you're right. It poured over, and we hung out, and we were chilling, and yeah, we started betting on the.
And then all of a sudden, like Mamma Mia
strikes.
gets up, and we're betting on like 8 or better, right?
Yeah.
Like they have no clue what we're doing either, which was even the.
And we're all
Eventually,
screaming
hold
and
on.
hollering in the back, going off. And like, listen, I mean, you could even let people bet $50 or $100 on an individual strike. So you can
That's
have
some good
people
action.
really, and listen, I mean, and that's great betting too, because the general public's going to think, oh, these guys are going to strike all the time. and we know like they're not going to strike all the time, you know.
No.
So imagine if you could even parlay strikes where you could bet, hey, this guy's going to throw
He's
5
gonna
in a
double.
row. Yeah, I mean,
it would take a lot.
and
to
I
get
would
a-
I would promote it in those simple terms. You know, like bet
Yeah.
on the strikes, bet on whether he makes the split, live bet on things, pick a guy. You know, pick a guy and root for that guy. I mean, just keeping it very simple. You know, not anywhere near as complicated as like betting. I mean, I listen to a lot of betting podcasts, and man, some of these are so complicated with, you know, just what they're trying to do and their strategies about it. And the thought.
Well, for me,
I'm
like
not talking about that. I'm talking about
Mike,
let's make it simple and promote it that way.
yeah, for me, like I was on record saying that the PBA needs to, even if it's just one tournament, like to start it off, right? Where
Tom
they need
Clark
to get-
teased us with that, son.
I know he did.
He
They need to
teased
just
us
get-
with that, and it never went anywhere.
Right, like, you know, get with Bet Rivers, get with Barstool, get with MGM, Caesars, whatever you got to do, right? And just say, look, like, we're gonna, you know, get with us for one tournament. We'll like literally revolve the whole tournament around the public being able to bet. And of course, you do it in Vegas. You get the sports books, maybe. Hopefully, they can get involved. I don't know. It's a lot. Like I'm not sitting here saying this is easy, right? Because if it was easy for Tom Clark, he would have probably already done a lot of what we're talking. I believe this is not as easy to you know, for us to talk about it's easy, but for him to actually go and do this kind of shit has got to be really hard and really complicated. And I kind of like feel like he's probably already been trying to do it. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because he did talk to us about it when we interviewed him a while back. So I think, but you're right though. You have this schedule coming on, right? You have Bolero pouring money into it, right?
You got the team events on Saturday night. What's better than pick this team or pick that team? You know,
dude, I'm telling you, like this is where you could start, you know, using your viewership, right? I mean, you had 1.7 million views on the Strike Derby, right? Use that, like use the ratings, use the viewership, and bring it to the casinos and bring it to Bet Rivers and say, look, like we're getting millions of people watching some of these live shows. The Strike Derby was taped and got 1 point something million views, right? Imagine if it was live and you were able to bet on it, okay? And you were promoting it as like, hey, Strike Derby, this is, you know, bet on this, bet the over and under strikes, you know, bet whatever it is, right? And I feel like you can get people to get on board, but it's, you know, it's probably easier said than done.
can I ask a stupid question real quick? And I don't even know if anybody will know the answer. But these online betting apps, like a DraftKings, for instance, when there's live betting, because there's live betting in a lot of these games, who's making the odds for those live bets? Is it AI? Like, is it an algorithm that's creating the odds for the live bets? Because every time the score changes or the time
Yes.
changes, I would imagine that the odds are changing, right?
Yes.
So am I right that it's an algorithm of some kind?
I would 100%. It's just way too many games going on at one time.
One
and way
time,
too
right?
many
For it to
live
be
betting
live people, right? Just yeah, okay.
people. Now,
So
the
here's the
spreads-
thing: doesn't that make it even easier in
I
terms
think
of
so.
providing that for the bowlers? It's
Yeah.
not like you have to have somebody sitting there adjusting what the odds
Right.
are because this guy just threw 3 in a row and people are betting on him to throw a 4th strike. Like AI would be able to analyze all the bowling data over the years and have a really good idea of what those odds should be.
Sam Cooley writes in the chat, becomes a snowball effect. People would use word of mouth to their friends, get involved, watch bowling more because it's the easiest money they'd make. I mean, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. It's like, hey, my non-bowler friends, I'm a bowler. Come over to my house. The league is on Saturday night. Let's get some pizza. Let's get some booze, you know, and let's bet on bowling. And I could probably pick better winners. You just have to just roll with me, right? And let's see what we could do here.
Let's all
right?
throw up 20, 30, 40 bucks. Let me get on the app, leave me alone, and we're gonna make some money.
And I'm gonna tell you who to root for and where we need, and we're gonna have a good time. And almost like a UFC, right? Where
Yeah.
you know, sometimes I have UFC friends that, you know, are fighters, they're black belts, and I'll watch UFCs with them, and I'm like, they know the sport better than anybody because they follow this for 20 years, right? And they will tell me the better odds and who's a black belt who's a wrestler, and you might get a better idea of who to bet on and make more money.
Right.
And I think that would be similar to like how we could watch bowling with our non-bowling friends, right? And I like that idea, and I think that that's something that hopefully, maybe we could see in the next few years. But
Tom, get your napkin out, son.
take those
Rewind,
notes.
and write that down.
Yeah. All right, Mike. You want to give the people what they want?
Always. You want me to go first, or you going first?
You go first, because mine's a quick one this week. It's not.
Yeah, mine is too. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're in overtime already, and I'm exhausted, so I want to go to bed. So that's good. Mine is from I'm switching it up this week. It's not from the Bowling Science Forum. It's from I am a 300-800 bowler. And
wait, slow, stop the presses. Stop the presses. What is this group and why am I not in it? What
oh, you're not aware of this?
I am not aware.
This is the group that started the beef before.
I am not in that group.
This is the group that had the post where I called the person out and gave them worst of the week, and then people got mad at me and came on their crappy podcast that doesn't exist anymore and said, "Oh yeah, call me out, but don't say my name." And so
okay,
go ahead.
What is it called?
I am a 300/800 bowler.
Oh, it just popped in. I've never quick joined so fast in my life.
Okay,
go for it.
Justin Sweet, congratulations, Justin. You've won worst of the week. Here's the post. Okay, my teammate and I both shot 800 tonight on the toughest pair, usually in the house. Lanes 1 and 2 at Royal Scott, Lansing, Michigan. Also, my first ever 299 game.
Toughest pair in the house.
It's where we're at, huh? It's where we're at. Toughest pair in the house. 2 800s on the pair one night plus a 299, first ever. Front 11. I don't know. How tough is the toughest pair in the house then?
It's pretty tough.
I don't know.
People are struggling. It sounds like a lot of spares being shot. Okay, so
this is the comment of the night. Kevin Haybear says, "Can you imagine unironically joining a page called I am a 300/800 bowler?" Holy shit! Oh my god.
Yeah, I wonder are they gonna make me have to put in my how many honor scores I have in order to get into the group?
You should put up an insane number. You should be like, I have 364 300s and 472 800s.
And people will believe me. People might ask me if my name was Ian Lang. All right. Mine is going off of the Bowling Science Forum, the gift that keeps on giving. This forum is just...
Can't get off it.
Okay, so a little bit before I go into my worst of the week, some context here. I always never understood what people are thinking about, when they're making these posts. They just sometimes I just feel like they're just putting posts to just put posts up. They're not really is this what people think about? Randomly on a work day, during the middle of a 1 p.m. they just finished lunch and they get to their computer and they're just going to make a post. Ross Ellington made a post on the Bowling Science Forum. Congrats to Ross for winning worst of the week. His comment, random, was, anyone try to throw the ball with only a thumb? Is this what this guy is thinking about in the middle of a day at a whatever time it was that he posted this at 8 o'clock at night on a Wednesday? Are you sitting with your family and you're eating dinner and you're talking about everybody's days and what you're doing and how was school and how was dance and how was work and then all of a sudden he's just you know what? I wonder if anybody's ever really tried to bowl with just a thumb in the ball. So I'm going to ask that question and see what people dude, like, why even like? Don't get it. I sometimes I'm just like, what in the hell are you like thinking about? So yes, I've never really thrown a ball with a thumb in the ball, if that's what the answer is. So
Oh boy.
yeah. All right, Mike. Let's finish this up here.
All right, Rob. Final thoughts.
Yeah, no, just glad to be bowling again. I'm trying to, use this use the time that I took off as like kind of like a reset for myself bowling. I have a plan of attack this time around for my bowling going forward, my tournaments, my league. I'm really gonna focus on trying to get better mentally more than physically, which is something that I think not a lot of people do. And I really want to try to get better with my mental game. And I'm really going to try to really stress and press to read uh and read as much as I can, and to try to maybe even try to experiment with some kind of meditation, and try to really get relaxed and calm myself down while I'm bowling, so I can make better shots under pressure, and really focus on the mental game, because I feel like physically, I feel like you get to a certain point where there's not a whole lot more you could do other than just recreate shots, and try to just duplicate shots. But I feel like a lot of the mistakes that I've made in my bowling life and career have been more under pressure type bad shots. And I really want to try to limit those as much as possible. So I'm going to try to focus more on the mental game.
Okay, no doubt. Good luck. Uh, my final thought tonight is, yeah, just again my disappointment over the lack of interest in bowling on the tougher side of the game.
Lumber's having aneurysms from our worst of the week. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but I appreciate it. Wait, so sorry, say that again, Mike. What was your final thought?
No, just the lack of interest in the tougher side of the game.
Oh, you're still sour about your league time?
Yeah.
Well, hey, can you just do what I told you to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Start getting some people to go there, promote it. Don't try to put together in 2 days. It never works. Give people weeks notice so that they could have that night off from work, or they could do whatever they need to do to try to come and like get advice or work with like a Parker Bowen or a Bill. And sometimes even if how much you charge a week, for the bowling, what, like $15? I'm just using this example. So what you should do is you should tell Bill or tell Parker, whatever it is, that I'll give you a percentage of the head count.
Okay.
Really make it worth their while. Say if we can get 40 people to show up, I'll cut you like $3 a bowler, right? And maybe you raise the price to your league, to make up for it for $2 to $3. But look, like, people might pay an extra $5 if they knew Bill was going to be there to help them with their equipment, or help them with their like adjustments on how to play certain patterns. I really think you should try it.
Fair point. All right, folks, hit us up on social media. He's at Brooklyn Rob. I'm at the 215th. We do most of our social media interaction on Twitter. Brooklyn Rob 11. Sorry. Listen, we want to start a mailbag. Send us emails. Sweep the rack at Gmail. Email us about anything. Doesn't have to be bowling related. Could be bowling related. Could be a question. Could be a situation you want our opinion on. Could be life advice in some way. Could be bowling advice in some way. Email us about whatever you want. We want to start doing some mailbags over here. We got to get the mailbag options up before we can do a mailbag skit. So send us those mailbag opportunities if you can. And,
sweep the rack at Gmail. Sweep the rack at Gmail. One word.
Yeah, very easy.
It's easy.
We love the emails from people always. Rob, we're probably going to have to reschedule the show next week. because I think I'm going to be bowling on Thursday night. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll touch base with you on that.
Okay.
And everybody have a good week.
Yep. See you guys.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.